Hey all, and welcome back to Pokémon Sword. That triumphant music means only one thing. We have reached Wyndon, the final town of the game. There is a huge rose-esque tower in the distance, very London-esque advertisements everywhere. Big Bong is there with its like Professor Layton-esque puzzle like face on it. This is a fun town. Admittedly, there's not as much to do here as I would like, and a lot of the buildings are just for show. But in terms of like judging purely by Sword and Shield standards, this is definitely one of the better made towns in the game.
Definitely.
This is my favourite town in the game, purely on the aesthetics. Like it's condensed, but it is literally London, and I love that about it. Like you got the Ferris wheel, you got the Thames, you got all your important stuff. You got the clock, and like this one, I imagine it probably isn't being repaired for far too long now, so maybe it's not got that part accurate down to a T, but other than that, this is London, and I love it.
This is London indeed. Alright, what we got here? Welcome to the modern city of Wyndon, booming metropolis designed and developed by Chairman Rose. Oh, that's good. Let's have one guy develop all the infrastructure. That's not going to lead to any kind of corruption and whatnot.
It's fine, as long as that one guy doesn't go a bit off his rocker and start causing all kinds of problems, it'll be fine. We just got to trust this guy, right? Yeah. But that Mr. Mime that we ran past in the intro there, one little bit of trivia that I imagine everyone's clocked onto at this point, but he has the nickname Marcel, which is the nickname given to the Mr. Mime that's traded to you in Gen 1.
Aww.
So that's a neat little throwback. It's a different kind of Mr. Mime, but hey, it does the job there. I know I mentioned this in an earlier part, but if you want a Kanto Mr. Mime in this game, you have to get it from the guy in Spikemuth, like in the battle area. You've got to trade your obstacle for him, so you can get both, and I believe that's the case with most of the Pokemon that have Galar forms here. Like, I don't think you can get a Hoenn Zigzagoon, at least not in the base game. They'll probably bring that in DLC because it is actually programmed into the game.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you can get the Kanto or base form equivalent. The other exception is Alolan Meowth, which gets a cameo in one of the Pokemon camps, but you can't actually acquire one as of yet.
Oh, that's a bit annoying, but hey, it happens.
That is weird, but on the other hand, they have to save stuff for the DLC, so I know how it is. 12,500 just for that, and I think I got it off like a fucking online player and whatnot.
Yeah, so you got lucky there.
Pretty much.
Like, I will say, it looks like you've got a lot of money here with your 127 grand, but if you go into the boutique in this town, some of the stuff there will drain that money very quickly. This is the town where, for my girl character, I got the creeper shoes that look really neat, and I also got the big, bulky, jewel encrusted fucking backpack thing.
Jeez.
It's like a massive suitcase. I forget how much that cost, but it was like an extortionate amount of money, but it's for a cute girl, so it's okay.
But yeah, much like London, the boutiques in here it's ridiculously expensive.
Well, time to get fucking lit. Let's see. We have to look our best for the semi-finals and so on, so let's get ourselves a nice motorcycle jacket. God damn, do I wish you could get more clothes, but they're coming in the DLC, so there you go.
I'm sorry, but the biker jacket does not fit this character.
Well, fuck you. I will wear what I want to wear, thank you very much.
Oh, thank God you didn't... Oh, you're not going to get them, are you? Oh, for fuck's sake, Tom.
It's juxtaposition between black and white.
A juxtaposition like that doesn't quite work with clothes. It makes you just look a bit tacky.
Well, fuck you. My game. My character style.
I like how you looked like you were about to try and buy the leather trousers, despite the fact that you have no money anymore because you spent it all on the biker jacket.
Oh god, it's like that fucking drill quote. It's like, I'm passing out my budget. Oh god, help me, I'm dying, Squirtle.
Yeah.
You know, it would be a nice joke to have in the next gen, if you ever come back to Galar. Just have people who love, surfing on the Thames and whatnot. And what's their nickname? You can call them Temtems. Hey-oh.
Fuck's sake.
That's for everything you do, Flame. It's for everything you do.
I deserve that,
Yes, you do. Oh, look, even the fucking final stadium looks like a rose that's blooming.
A little bit, yeah. Like I did notice the Thames looks a lot cleaner here, and it looks a lot less miserable around the outside, and the O2 doesn't look quite as out of place. And
Well,
maybe this is like fancier London.
Well, I mean, so I can tell you specific areas that are based on things. So the Rose of the Ronderland, which is the hotel, is quite clearly modelled after the Palace of Westminster. Obviously you have Big Ben. In the background around there you can see the Galar Hurricane, which is the version of the London Eye. Wyndon Stadium is apparently actually based on Wembley Stadium, which is not the O2 Arena.
Where it's placed next to the Thames, that's the O2. Come on.
Yeah. Then you have the shopping district modelled after Piccadilly Circus, and then the Rose Tower, which is the massive tower which we'll see at some point, is likely to have been inspired by the Shard, but also the ArcelorMittal Orbit, which is a stupid name, but basically it's the big towering torch thing that they made for the 2012 Olympics. Mm-hmm. And that's where that is likely to come from. And then sort of other bits with Wyndon, obviously Wyn, London, duh, but it's also Wind, which is a narrow lane between houses, and Dun is a British town suffix for hill, apparently.
Well, there you go. And hey, Marnie made it here after all. What does her number specify, Richie?
You will have to give me a second, because that is one thing that I do not have up right now.
Well, there you go then. I can tell you what 64 means. It means 64 bits of victory, except not when the PlayStation stomps you into the fucking console with dirt.
That's what happens when you try to push out another cartridge system when everyone else has moved on to discs.
Yeah, that's very true, mate. Oh, we have some unique music here.
This version is so fucking good.
Oh, yeah.
Battle theme's great as it is, but now with the extra synth pieces and the crowd cheering, it's so fucking hype. I love this song so much.
Right, I found it. So Marnie's uniform number is 960, which is Japanese wordplay for Kuro, which means either hardship or black.
Oh, dark time. And yeah, she had to fight her way here. So there you go. It all makes sense. Sorry, Lipard. You're done.
Yeah, Lipard won't stand a chance there.
But something that I didn't realise, so her name, Marnie, comes from Rosmarinus, which is the genus that contains rosemary, and basically all of her name is to do with rosemary. So her Japanese name is Mary, her German and Italian name is Mary, her Spanish name is Roxy. In French they literally just called her Rosemary, and then everywhere else it's just like Mari or Marnie or whatever. So that's just quite nice, and obviously in the language of flowers, rosemary equates to remembrance.
There you go.
What's important is that she's best girl. I'm not backing down on that.
Whatever, you like what you like, Flame, but you know, at least people usually pick girls their own age.
She's anime. She could be any age, really.
You know damn well that's not true.
What are you fucking implying? This is exactly how anime works. They leave it ambiguous for a reason.
I'm implying you're a lolly, mate. Anyway, get back. Yeah, Draco, you don't
I'm not a fucking lolly. I do not look like a lolly. Lollies do not have beards like I do.
No, I'm saying you're a lolly-con, is the thing.
That's not what you said, and I heard ya.
What the fuck do you think lolly is short for, you idiot?
Lolly is its own thing. Lolly is the goal. Lolicon is the person who is interested.
You make these commentaries so fucking awkward, mate. Jesus Christ.
I'm well aware.
Wow, we destroyed him with the power of conversation.
That wasn't even your attack. That was Toxicroak listening to us and thinking, "No, fuck this somehow."
Yeah, I'll see ya. Oh, boy.
So basically, Toxicroak is me right now.
You have no relevance in this conversation, mate. You wouldn't even be on screen right now.
Yeah, I'm just kind of just like da 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 da. I'm just thinking about trying to beat Yuzora. That's my current thought process.
Ah, well, thanks for spoiling that, I guess. But yes, Remind coming soon. We will be including the secret episode, so look forward to that.
That's the one that Richie's been having trouble fighting, isn't it, Rich?
Well,
And I told you needed to get good, even though I don't even know what the boss is.
yeah, well, I've literally only just tried to do it, so, like, I've not been going at it for that long. So, I mean, we'll see, because I've heard horror stories. I think, I want to say Tanner spent like 7 hours trying to beat it. I think I might give up before that point, but, still.
I just commissioned someone to do it for me, really, so...
That's just lazy.
Yeah, well, I'm using the Patreon for Patreon-specific things, which is exactly what I said I'd do.
What, that you can't be asked to beat a boss for yourself, so you get someone who's actually skilled at the game to do it instead?
Oh, let me correct you there. 13 to 14 bosses first, and then Yuzuru.
Yeah, and you can get good, right? You've got the game.
I hate you so much, Flame, and it's becoming unironic at this point. You just go out of your way to be a cunt.
Isn't that what I've been doing since day one?
Yeah, but at least it was funny before. Now you're just being mean.
Well, are you gonna beat this battle yet then?
Well, it's gonna end sooner rather than later, because she's Gigantamaxing herself. Well, not Gigantamaxing herself, but...
Gigantamax Marnie is fulfilling several fetishes at once.
Yeah, I was gonna say that'd be a completely different game, but this is actually the only time you'll see her Grimstyle Gigantamax here, because although you can rematch Marnie in the post game, it's not somewhere that has a battle spot, so you won't be able to see this particular one again.
Huh.
Yes. Which is a shame, but still, I mean, Gigantamax Grimstyle is really cool.
I don't like the design really. Like, I don't like its base form, as I said, but it just looks lanky and awkward, and I realise what the immediate comeback to that is.
I don't know, it reminds me a little bit too much of Devilman, and I like Devilman, but cartoony Devilman is a bit weird.
I don't know, I just feel like the proportions look a bit cartoony and like not. It doesn't feel like it's a buffed up form, it feels like a stretched form, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, but obviously all of it is basically made of hair, so, like, it makes sense.
So it's like the big steppy Bayonetta thing?
Basically, yes.
Okay, so maybe that's why you're a bit of an apologist for it.
Maybe, like, I really don't actually care that much about it, so, I'm just like, hey!
Odd use of the term apologist describes someone saying they like something, Flame. It's almost like you can't just simply like something unironically.
Well, I mean, if it's more likely to provoke a defensive comeback, then I'm more likely to win. It just doesn't work on Richie as well as it does on you, Tom.
Doesn't really work well on me at all, mate.
Oh, it has done before, but yeah, I like how, like, this Dynamax round really didn't go well for you, given you got the status condition there that just drained out a couple of your turns. So now we're just back to the standard battle as it was last time at this point.
If Surge was a little bit stronger, he probably could have, like, OKO'd Grimmsnarl, but alas, Surge is just doing what Surges want to do, and I'm the one training him, so I'm at fault, really.
Yeah, but like you got rid of him soon enough anyway. It was only one turn after the Dynamax wore off, so it's not like it's a big deal.
Oh, poor Marnie. Well, back to Spike mode for you, I suppose.
Well, she's got her backup position open of being the gym leader, hasn't she? So that's still, she's still earned that.
Yeah, and she is going to take it up, so...
Oh, there you go. Got a little, yeah, I'm happy swaying going on, I suppose.
Well, it's like been a fun battle, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose it was. The next one, I'm going to crush the opponent into the dirt, though.
Those fighting words, this better be good.
Oh, we'll see, mate, we'll see.
How can we even hear you over the crowd right now?
Yeah, it's like, what? Oh, never mind, I'm going home.
You almost run into me, Hop. Please be careful.
Well, if this was Barry from Gen 4, he definitely would have.
Oh, yeah.
He would have run into you, then just kept going into the wall behind you.
Ugh. What, did he phase through me or something?
No, he's just that careless.
I guess so. So careless, even the rules of physics don't apply to him.
No, well, he did have that weird thing where he was especially loud to the point where his things would be bigger than a standard text box, weren't they?
Yes. Barry was an interesting one.
Yes, that's a very polite version of what I want to actually say.
Man, imagine how awkwardly they're going to animate him whenever they eventually get to Sinnoh remakes.
Oh, yeah, well, might be next year, might be the year after, we don't know, but it's definitely going to be using the Gen 9 engine. Sorry, Gen 8, I was in the future for a second there, just for a split second, and it was terrible. Oh god, oh Jesus.
What's the discourse about in the future? Tip me off now so I can get me bait ready.
Oh, it's everything you dislike, mate.
Ah, fuck. Of course.
I just want you to know there is no happy future waiting for you at the end of the line.
Well, I mean, I'm depressed, so I already knew that, but, you know.
Oh, jeez, oh. Whatever. It's time for Hop's last stand. Will he beat us? Not fucking lightly, but, hey, he's here. He's got a nice little riff going. Let's do this shit. It's serious time, motherfucker.
It is indeed. And just a few little factoids. Hop's number 189 was played for Hyaku, which means leaping.
Oh, I thought it would have meant less cool little brother.
Oh, no.
Look, alright. I'm not surprised he has an inferiority complex, seeing as, like, there's, again, I'm going to bring this up, and I mentioned this very early on in the playthrough. There's barely any pictures of him in his own fucking house.
Well, maybe if he earned loads of trophies and had loads of, like, you know, success and champion portraits taken and shit like that, maybe they'd have some stuff about him.
Yeah.
But no. If one of the kids is successful and the other one's a loser, then you're gonna celebrate the successful one more. It's okay to have a favourite kid when there's that division.
You heard it here first, folks. Your worth is only determined by the arbitrary amount of, like, golden plaques and stuff you have.
Exactly. So if you learn how to fake golden plaques, you can be your parents' favourite kid too.
That'll be the day.
Yeah.
Tom, you're an only child. Who are you competing against?
Myself, apparently.
Like you have two sides to you, the one that impresses your mum and the other one that lets her down or something.
Yeah, and they're both the same person. I'm like Roxas and Vanitas wrapped into one.
Oh god.
I obviously meant Ven, but goddamn did I just make a KH faux pas there.
Well, thankfully I never got that far into KH, so you ain't threw me off.
Oh, cool. Wow. One franchise we enjoy, Richie, that flame won't sully.
Yay! Thank fuck for that.
Oh god, now I've got to look a load of shit up just to find out what the bait is.
Yep, you can try it for Steven Universe as well if you want.
No, because then I'd have to actually pay attention to that.
Yeah, well.
Like, let's be fair here, I have basically the entire series to knowledge just through seeing you tweeting about it every 5 fucking minutes.
Yeah, if you put them all together, it just makes the series synopsis.
Yeah, what is it like? You know when The Simpsons had that one McBain film cut up among different episodes? Your Twitter is basically that of Steven Universe.
And that's actually pretty cool that you can put them all together and it just make like, what, a 1-2 minute clip.
Yeah, like it makes a cohesive narrative apparently, which is really neat.
That is cool, and also Flame, you are definitely not wrong because I feel like I basically know the majority of the plot of Steven Universe from Tom's Twitter.
Well, Richie, you actually started watching it and then you got lazy, so...
Well, I mean, yes, but also it's... I'm just, at this point now, I'm just waiting for it all to be on Netflix. Like, they've got season 1 on there. Once it's all on there, I'll probably watch it at some point, but...
You can watch it on other places besides Netflix, you're just not going through the effort of doing so. Also, how many times did Corviknight dodge Pyro Ball? That was insane.
Way too many.
That's also because Corviknight is a fucking badass.
Well,
You're not wrong.
I feel it's true, but...
I'm going to buff up all my favourite Pokemon, you should be used to this by now.
It's fine. I mean, it can't take a hit, but it looks cool at least.
Oh, my one lasted me well into the finals and into the post-game, and I had no problems with him dying easy, so... Maybe it's the trainer.
Maybe it is the Trainer Flame, maybe it is.
Yeah. Well, especially considering Hop's literally named after just female flowers of a hops of this particular species of plant called the Humulus lupulus.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Basically, it's hop everywhere apart from French Marie's Nabil, and Spanish where he's Paul, and then Korean they called him Hob. It's basically Hop, but they called him Hob, which I find hilarious.
No, just recolour his hair orange and you can cook food on him. That's how it works, right?
Basically, yeah.
Right, he's one half of a hobnob, which is a biscuit in the UK, so...
Yeah, but I don't like him, so I won't count that.
Fair enough, mate, fair enough. I have the good sense to switch out Mr. Crime this time, so Serge, it's your turn, and we're going with the toxic approach again.
Yeah, I will say one thing that did crack me up just then was when Mr. I'm used Teeter Dance and then Snorlax did the spin as well. It looked like they were just about to dance together. It was great.
Oh, bless. Yeah, let's go.
Let's do this. Snorlax, you gonna be phased by this at all?
Oh,
No? Snorlax has felt worse.
Oh no. Of course he would have a fucking ground counter, why wouldn't he?
Yeah, well, like, he's probably waiting for this. Like, maybe Hop's being smart.
Maybe, oh my god. Are we seeing Hop fully unleashed here?
Well, that has been his thing, hasn't it? It's been that he's been slowly growing his team and changing up his strategies over the course of the game. So it's like showing that this is him after having developed the team and it's now how he's happy with it. So yeah, it does make sense that he would vary out his moves, especially given type effectiveness is his thing that he likes to point out, even like 10 hours into the fucking game.
Well, don't you worry, Leon's got him covered in that area as well.
Yeah, basically.
Where do you think he got it from in the first place?
Yeah, shame that's the only thing he learned, apparently.
Oh.
Outside of that, it's just, I want to be cool like my brother Leon, and like you had that perfect opportunity for good character development early on in the game and along the way of him maybe slowly realising that he can maybe take a different approach to Leon, maybe he can develop his own goals and that, but they really didn't do much with that idea at all, even though that is like a glaring character flaw with Hop, that he too badly wants to just be like his brother.
I mean, I agree that they perhaps could have done more with it during the course of the game, but then equally, I kind of find it quite cool that he sticks with that character flaw. Well, the character flaw sticks with him up to this point because he gets so close to taking on his brother, and in all likelihood, well, I mean, obviously his team's a bit shite, were we not here, there's every chance that he would go on to beat Leon, but it's only sort of getting this close and then failing that then begins to make him go and reassess his priorities, because it's like, yeah, you see your goal there and you just miss out on it, and that's sort of when the sort of development comes in.
Well, I feel like during the whole point, like where he loses to Bede and then he's like really upset about that, it feels like that would have been a good spot to like maybe just flirt with the idea of maybe he could, like, he has strengths in other areas and maybe he should work on that. Like, not necessarily commit to it entirely, but
yeah,
just like if it brings up the idea, because like we're going to be doing the post game, so I'll talk more about it when we get to that, but they will eventually start throwing some ideas around. It just feels like this would have been a good character trait for him over the course of the game itself, that they just sort of skim over.
Yes, you're not wrong on that point.
It's not like there's more story getting in the way or anything, they just don't really want to address it that much.
Yeah, it's another one of them things that, like, the idea, it's left a bit too much to your own interpretation, which, you know, like, you can leave a little bit of that, like, just let people put their own ideas into it, but sometimes you do need to push us in the right direction, you know?
Here's a question, do you think the Gigantamaxes for the stars were purposely cut for the DLC, or do you think they just weren't ready or designed by the time Sword had to ship?
The cynic in me would say they just decided to cut them to create something a little bit more hype for the DLC because, you know, they saw the potential storm coming. However, I very much do want to sit on the side of they just weren't ready. Like, they had the ideas for them and they probably wanted to implement them, but they realised that they'd already done the Gigantamaxes that they'd done, and they were just like, time-wise, we just don't have time to get these implemented in time for release, because clearly there are a lot of corners cut in various areas, and if those were sort of like, they might have been really close to completion, but just not quite there, at which point you kind of just go, well, drop it off, we'll put it, because we know we're doing the DLC at this point, so we'll do it when that comes along. That's my assumption of what's happened. Whether that is the case or not, I don't know, but I would at least like to give them the benefit of the doubt on that one.
I have a feeling that at some point in the DLC, there's gonna be something to allow you to add the Gigantamax status to a Pokemon you have.
That would be nice.
Because it feels like the starters, they're the sort of ones that it would feel incredibly odd for them just to give you another starter now that can Gigantamax. And I feel like if they're gonna do that, then having a starter Gigantamax form would be the opportunity to kind of demo it to you.
Yeah.
So if they've been holding off to bring that feature in, then it would make sense for the starters to come along at the same time. I don't know if that is going to happen. I'm just sort of speculating here because it seems like an out of the blue announcement to make if they weren't going to do that. That's kind of my takeaway from that.
Well, I mean, I suppose we'll see what happens in the long run. I would like to see that, because I think that's sort of the one issue that I've mentioned previously with the whole Gigantamax, Dynamax thing. Of obviously needing separate Pokemon to be able to Gigantamax, but if you've got a Gigantamax form, I want that rather than the Dynamax form. Like, don't make me work twice as hard to find it. Like, just give it to me.
Yeah, because like having a good version of a particular Pokemon and a not so good one like in your box that you can pick from, that in a way kind of does go against the spirit of Pokemon. You know how they've always talked about how Pokemon are your friends and you train them and they can have all these differences and stuff. So it feels like that the whole Gigantamax mechanic in itself isn't fully realised yet. Because it just seems weird that they would have very obvious, explicit, here's a superior version of this other thing. That doesn't seem very Pokemon to me.
I agree for the most part. I think Flame does have a good idea when he says there will be something that will grant Gigantamax status, because otherwise, you have to start all over from scratch with a new Pokemon. But hey, don't put it past them. You know what I mean? Don't put it past them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do make some strange decisions here and there, but like in terms of the actual in-universe dynamic between humans and Pokemon, that's not something they fuck up often. So if they are doing something that kind of detracts from that, it seems like the sort of thing that they're probably going to fix sooner or later. Admittedly, that is just my interpretation of that. Feels like it's cheating out certain Pokemon of their status, but I imagine a lot of people do feel the same way, that a Pokemon that has the Gigantamax status is objectively superior to an equivalent that can't.
I don't know about that, but yeah, whatever, we're past it now. And Hop has had enough of this paparazzo. You need to fuck off. This is a high-class establishment. Really, you should be outside waiting for us to come out, not be inside the lobby.
Exactly,
Well, it depends on how friendly the hotel staff are to the press.
Well, yeah. Although, I mean, I would say that in all likelihood, the hotel staff would probably be attempting to usher them out at all costs, because generally the insides of certain buildings, well, they're the property of who owns the property, and therefore the press require permission to film inside there. So they would get in trouble.
Well, you say that as though it's they're calmly ushering him out when the bellhop at the front has got a fucking knife next to him.
Yeah. Oh my god, I didn't realise that, yeah. Piers, what's up, mate? The fucking state of his hair, Jesus.
It's fashionable to his little community, let him have that.
I suppose so, Flame, I suppose so.
Also, it does very much remind me of the Inklings and the Octolings.
Yes.
Splatoon.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of just
That's a little bit, yeah.
It's a bit ridiculous, but it seems like a small, slight reference to that, and you know what? I'm okay with that.
Well, the Spike before Team Yell colours kind of remind me of it a little bit as well.
Well, it is sort of Splatoon pink.
So why didn't they get the octopus Pokemon in their teams?
Because that would have made it too obvious.
Also, Octolings are the enemies. Hello.
Yeah, but they've got that same sort of theming, I guess.
I suppose
Like, there's
so,
not really a good squid Pokemon, unless... Although, like, if they had Malamar, that's a dark type.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of works.
He does have a Malamar on his team, so there you go. We've resolved this stupid little tangent.
With 20 seconds to spare and all.
Yes, now we have to go and find Leon, who is in Rose Tower for reasons yet unknown. So the great finale of Pokemon Sword essentially kicks off next time, so please join us then, for there is a lot more ground to cover before all is said and done. Bye for now.